Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this is quick demo of Angular quiz application which I have created here. So here you can see we are going to create this application from scratch. Like I'll tell you how what are those steps, what is required to build this application. Alright, so let me just walk through you with this application. So what things we are going to implement. So on the top you can see we will design this header with this Angular logo. Then we'll have this main section here which will say this welcome page, basically welcome to this quiz application, where we will have some rules declared for this particular quiz application. And below here you can see we have to enter our name to start the quiz. So let me just add the name and so that we can enter the quiz section. So we have to click here to start the quiz. So here you can see we have this thing also designed here. So this is disabled because this is first question, so we can't go back. This is the navigation thing which will help us to navigate through the questions. So currently we have this 9 question here. So on the header you can see the Angular logo, then who has logged in here, like who has started the quiz, the username here, and we have the point system as well, that which we have declared in the rules. Also we have these questions like which question I am answering right now, and we will get a 60-second timer here. All right, so let me go back to the first question. So here you can see we can answer the question like the question is which of the following does TypeScript use to specify types. So we use this semicolon here. So here you can see it is correct and we get a 10 points. And if I go here and let me do the correct question here, so I can see we are getting 20 points. If I say something wrong here, so it will be in red color now, and 10 points will get deducted from here. So let me give one more wrong answer. You can see the point is getting deducted. All right, and if I give correct answer, so 10 points plus. If let me just come to the last question so that I can show you what things is here. So I can see I don't have points till now, so my point is -10. So I'll try to answer both of the question correct. So this is what the last question is this. So as you can see, have this last page where we can see that we have completed the quiz, and this is the summary of the quiz, that we have attempted 9 questions, 4 questions were wrong, 5 were correct, and our score is 10 points. Alright, so this is what we are going to create in this video from start to end. So I will highly recommend to follow each and every single step so that you should not encounter any error. If you do get any errors, so I am there for that. So you have the comment section, you can write up their error so that I can check and I can help you accordingly. Alright, so without any further ado, let's jump into the video. Alright guys, so what I'll do now is I'll create a folder here with the name. So I'll just go inside the folder and just type cmd to open the command prompt, and we have to create a new Angular application. So what is the command for that? It is ng new and the project name. So this is how we start. So let me give a name of my project. I'll give name as Angular quiz app. Okay, so this is my application name, and hit enter, and it will ask for some questions about routings and stuff, so we will answer that accordingly. So let's wait for that question. So it will ask for, would you like to add routing? So I'll say yes, and it will ask for what kind of CSS we need. So I'll choose SCSS now, although we will use more of Bootstrap to achieve what we need, okay, in terms of styling. All right, so let's wait till the application gets getting created. So Angular is actually creating for us the scaffolding and stuff is doing, it is going on right now. So it will create the application for us so that we can proceed further. So let us just wait for that. As you can see, it took some time, but it has been created now. So what we will do, we will try to navigate inside the project by saying cd and then the name of your application. Okay, hit enter, and let me open this thing in VS Code. So for that I'll just press code dot. So open this project into VS Code. All right, so once the VS Code is open, let me just maximize this, and let me zoom it a bit because I got a lot of requests on YouTube. Yeah, so I think this is much better now. So as you can see, we have our application created, and let us check what things we are getting. So in the source we have this app and everything is intact. So let us try to create all the required components in the start only. Okay, so here open up this terminal. The first thing we need is we need a welcome page. So for that, let me create a component called as welcome. So I'll say ng g for generate, c for component, and the component name is welcome. Okay. All right. So second component I'll need is question component. So I'll say ng generate, c for component, and component name question. Right. So this has been created. Now let us just configure the routing for these two files, for these two components. I'm sorry, for these two components. So I have this question component and I have this welcome component. So let's go inside this routing module and try to configure this routing for these two components. All right. So I'll go here and just add a path, and the paths for my welcome component. So the first page which it will open is my welcome component. So the component, it has to open my welcome component, and I'll give a path name as welcome. Okay, let me add routing for the second component, which is question. All right, and for this we have to open question component. All right, and also whenever the path is blank, I want to redirect it to welcome page, because the first page I want to see as the welcome. So for that I'll do path. Whenever my path is blank, I want to redirect to which path? To welcome. Okay, so I'll have that name, same name here. Okay, and path match full. All right, so our routing is also configured. Okay, so to make this routing work, what we have to do is we have to make use of router outlet. Okay, so let me remove all this unnecessary thing, and let me have my router outlet here. Okay, let me save this, save all, and let me try to run the application. The command for that is ng serve open. All right, so let's just wait for this application to serve on localhost 4200. All right, so here you can see my application is compiled successfully and it is running on localhost 4200. So let's just open this thing on browser. Here you can see our application is serving on this localhost 4200, and the first page which we can see is our welcome page. All right, and if I just navigate from welcome to question, I can see question works, which means our routing is working fine. Okay, so all I have to do is I'll first start with the header part. Okay, so let me create a component for a header as well. So I'll go here and open up terminal, and I'll create a header component. So I'll say ng g for generate, c for component, and the component name is header. Right, so header component is created. So let's just try to add all the HTML needed for the header. So we'll do, so you guys can just follow my steps whatever I'm doing, so that you can create the same header, the one which I have showed in the demo. All right, so for that header demo, all you have to do is we have to configure first Bootstrap, because I was using Bootstrap. So let me first tell you what things I need to configure. I need to configure two things. The first thing is Bootstrap, and second thing is Font Awesome for the icons. So let us just try to do that first. So let's go on google.com and just search for Bootstrap. Open up this first link, click on get started, and you have to just copy the CSS and the JS bundle. Okay, so copy the CSS and open up your code quiz app, and inside the index.html just paste it here below this. All right, okay, let's go ahead and copy the second item. We need to copy this JS bundle as well, so copy this. All right, and paste it below the body. So this is the script. This is the JavaScript bundle script. All right. So in this way, we have added the Bootstrap feature. All we have to do, we have to add font awesome for icons. Okay. Again, I'll go to font awesome w3 schools, so you can go to this website. So I'll share this website link in the description. You can just follow that link and just navigate on this particular website. So you just have to copy this link till here, and you have to paste it inside this below the Bootstrap CSS. Okay, so just go below here and paste it down. So now we have successfully configured font awesome and Bootstrap, and now we can use them in our application. Okay, let me just save all, and let me go inside our header now. Okay, so we will design the header part first, and then we proceed further with the welcome, and then we design the question part. All right, so for the header, all you have to go, we have to take everything in container. All right, so first we will have a nav. Okay, so for that, a nav, you can copy the Bootstrap header if you want. So let us just try to copy the Bootstrap. I think better is that we can just minimize our time. So I'll say nav bar. So here you can see this nav bar present. So let us just copy any one of them, which is for our liking. Maybe one with the icon will look good. So I'm just searching for that. I think the top one was better, so we will go with this. So let me copy this and paste it inside this header component.html. Okay, so you can pause the video if you want to just type it down by your own, then you can do that as well. Okay, I'll just change this some bit, so that because I need a blue color and this is a light color, so for blue you need to have this, change it to beige primary. Okay, and I'll make this container as fluid, so that it should take all the width of the screen. Container fluid, and this will be our brand text, that's all. And I want this thing in bold, so I'll just change it to text bold. All right, and let me just save these things, and I need to add the image as well. So for adding the image, I will have the reference of that Angular, so I'll make use of that Angular project. All right, so let me just go and check what our application looks like now. All right, so if you can see, this is not showing because we are not using the selector. So here you can see we have created this component header. We have to copy this selector and paste it inside our app component.html. So above the router outlet, just add this app header. Okay, if I save this and if I go on the browser, first check if it is compile success. Yeah, compile is success. Now go on the browser, you can see we are getting this beautiful header now. Zoom a bit. So you can see, so all we have, we just have to change the image. Okay, so for the image icon, I will share some link with you guys, which you guys can just copy paste and use that. Okay, so I will already have a link for that image, so I'll just go here in the header. You can add any, whatever you feel like. You can add the company logo according to your need. So I'm using this image of Angular icon. So this is what I'll share this with you guys. If you want, in the description below, you can copy it from there. Okay, I don't need this for now. I can use this for giving the name. This is the logo. I don't need width and height for now. If I save it, if I check how it looks, I can see I'm getting this logo now, this cool looking Angular logo. Let me give it a width of 50, maybe that will make it look better. Now this looks better. So this is the Angular logo, and I need something more, right? We have a span tag, so that it was written like Angular quiz. Okay, so A is already there, the icon A is already there here, so we just need NGULAR and quiz. Okay, so for that I'll use span tag. Okay, and inside that I'll just add NGULAR and quiz. Okay, And let me use some Bootstrap class here as well. Let me take it below and let me add a Bootstrap class. Okay, and this has to be uppercase. Okay, if I save it and check, now it looks good. So this is Angular quiz which is written here. All right, so header part is complete. So now we will switch to the welcome page. I'm just seeing if everything is better. Yeah, everything looks good. So now let's try to change this welcome page. All right, okay, so let's just open this welcome.html. So we are just first whatever the templates are there, we are designing that, and later on we will see the logical part, how we can logically make the way we want. Okay, the logical things. So first let me just design all those things. All right, so now for the welcome page, first take a div, and inside the div I will have my class container. I'm using this bootstrap classes. All right guys, so this will have a light color. Okay, and I'll give some padding to it. Okay, some vertical padding, and I'll have a h1 tag for the header. Okay, so have this h1 tag says welcome to quiz app, something like this. And let me add some classes here so that it should look better. So we'll take display 5. Okay, and I want this thing as bold, so I'll say fw bold. Okay, so this looks good. And let me add some tag here about what is this quiz all about and what all those. So I'll have a class for this paragraph, and let me add a col md8. All right, oh, it is incorrect, sorry. So it is col md8. Okay, and use this some bootstrap classes. All right, so this is my quiz. So this I can add any random words. I'm just adding all those so that it looks good, better, maybe better term. So I'll have some the quiz will contains total 9 questions. I'm just adding some random stuff guys. Okay, you can add anything you want. I can say each question holds 10 points. That's it. So that it looks good. That is the reason. Let's check how it looks. So here you can see this looks better, somewhat better. So this is the header, welcome to quiz, and this quiz contains 9 questions. Each question holds 10 points. So this looks better. Let me just add up my rules. So everything is static here by the way guys. So we are just writing some static terms. So I'm using h4 tag for this rules, and I'll use ordered list and some li, which will consist of my rules, whatever rules we are going to develop. So I'll say correct question gives you 10 points. All right, let me copy this and add up some more rules here. Okay, incorrect questions gives you minus 10 points. I'm just adding stuff, so let me just, you can skip this part if you want. Okay, so we have our rule. All right, so we have our rules ready. So let's check how it looks. So you can see our rules is ready here, all the 4 rules. and let me just add something like the like all the best in kind of stuff. So I'm just adding all some more static terms. So I'll use h1 tag. All right, and this will be best. Let me use the class text center. This is a bootstrap class to make things center, or I can use some styling. Maybe styling would be better, so I'll use some inline style. I'll use font family, not this one, cursive, and what else I can say, text align center. Okay, if I save it, I have this thing. All right, so this looks good. Okay, and we need a text box as well, like whoever the user, like whoever wish to give this quiz, so he can write down his name and he can start the quiz. So let me just do that now. So below this, let me have a div with a class as name, and let me have cool md4 dot some margin on the top, or the vertical margin. So I have created a div with class name and all this cool md4 and margin y as 3. Okay, and let me add a label, and this will be written like enter your name, and below this I will use a input type text, and I'll use bootstrap class form control. Let me save it and check how it looks. This looks good. We are getting this enter your name. All we need is a button here down here so that we can start the quiz. Okay, so for that it is very simple. Just use button of bootstrap. So I'll use bootstrap class btn, and I'll use a primary button. Okay, and some random class for that, for the checking purpose, and it will say start the quiz. Okay, if I save it and check how it looks now, so this looks better. So this will helps us to start the quiz, and whenever the user clicks here, it will go to the question, like it will go to the question component. So for that, let me add the routing here as well. So for that, we will use router link as slash questions, and this question is already configured, if you can see here. So I'm getting this, so it will go to this question path and it will load this component. Okay, so whenever people click on this, so it will go to this question and this will load our question component. If I save it and if I go on the browser and check, if I click here, I am coming to this question works, which is the our question component. Okay, and now we will design this part. Okay, we will design the question part. All right, so for that, what things is needed? So as you can see, we were having a card, a big card looking thing where we have the options and then we have the questions. All right, so for that, let me start this the HTML part first, and then we can proceed as I have already told you. So I'll go in the question.html and start writing some HTML scripts for this. So I'll say div.container. All right, and I will use a card, bootstrap card. Okay, now first thing, I was having some letters on the left side, some logo, so I'll design that first. So I'll use some flex system of bootstrap, so I'll use deflex with justify content between. Okay, I'm using all the bootstrap classes, I'm not using any css here. I'll also give some padding to it. All right, so it will hold two things. Okay, first on the left side I want the logo of Angular, and on the right side I want the header part where it was written Angular and TypeScript quiz and the welcome message for the user. So I'll use two divs. The first div will be for the image. So I'll give us just random name as image, and I will have the another div for that which user has like starting the quiz, so that I have to display the name as well. So I'll give it a class name as quiz header maybe. Okay, so I have these two divs. So in this first div I will have the image. Okay, so I'll have the image. You can add any image. Again, I'm saying this, so I am preferring the Angular one, so I will definitely gonna share that with you guys, but yeah, you are free to use any image you want. Okay, so I'll copy this again, the logo. So for that I need to go in the header, and let me copy this image and paste it inside our questions HTML. So let me paste it here, and let me increase the size to 90. So this should look bigger as compared to the logo. Okay, so this is done. Now on this side we will add some, again, some static stuff. So it will be a h4 tag which tells that it is Angular and TypeScript quiz. Okay, and below this we can just add a span tag which says that welcome user, any username we can add. Let me add some styling to this h4. Maybe I want this thing to look cursive as I have showed you in the demo, so I'll just say font family as cursive, and for the welcome user I want this thing in italic, so I'll say style, again font style. Okay, font, where is that font style? Here it is, italic. Okay, if I save it and check how it looks. All right, so you can see we are getting this card ready. So on the left side we have this logo, and on the right side we have this thing. Okay, which tells that Angular, and it welcomes the user, whoever the user is. Okay, we zoom out a bit, and okay, let me add some margin top because it is sticky with that particular header, so I don't need that. So I'll add some margin top, MT5 maybe better. So now I have a good gap here between the header and this card. Okay, so now we have to design the below part. So let me again come here. So this part is done. So this, let me close this div. Okay, so below this I will have one more div, same deflex. Okay, and this time justify content around, and I will add some padding also, some vertical padding. So I'll say py3. All right, and below this I was having three things basically. I was having a point, I was having how many question you have completed, and we are having the timer. Okay, so I will have three div again. So div for score, div for question remaining, and the div for timer. Okay, so let me add some content here in the score. So it was just a, let me add some h4 tag, or maybe h5 tag. H4 will be big, so add a h5 tag which says our points. So maybe I'll just add some static right now, 20 points. Okay, some questions as well, that which question I am attempting, like question one of whatever the total number of question is. So it may be some static stuff. So again I'll use span tag, and this will be italic, so I'll say style it and font style as italic. Okay, and this will be written like something like this: question 1 of 9. Maybe we will have 9 questions, so that's a question 1 of 9. And in the timer it will be having our, like the one which I have showed you in the demo. It will look something like this, some 60 seconds timer. So it looks something like this, 60 seconds. And I need to have that icon also, so I will, you can add it, it is all dependent on you. You can add it or you don't add it, you can just copy it from Google, you will get this kind of icons. So if I save it and if I check how it looks, So as you can see, this looks better now that we are having our score, like which question I'm attempting, and the timer as well on the right hand side. Okay, all right, so let's go here. Maybe let me add this thing in h5 so that it should look better. How bigger? Yes, now this looks better. Okay, this is my timer as well. So above part is done. So let me close this div also, and now I will work on the another div that I was having a progress bar which it was showing. So for the progress bar, what you can do is you can better go with the Bootstrap. Okay, so for that, go on the Bootstrap website and search for progress bar. You can see this, we are getting this. So you can use any, but I am having the preference of using this one, this second. So I'll just copy this, the green color, the second one, and just paste it below this. Okay, this is very simple. Just paste below this and add some margin to it so that it should not stick. So I'm just adding some margin bottom here because we have already vertical padding, so this will not cause anything. So I'm adding some margin bottom here. Okay, so this is our progress bar. Save and check again. Always check your whatever things you have did. All right, so this is our progress bar. This looks good. Okay, and now let's try to code the below part. Now we were having two things. The first thing is we were having a question, and the second thing we were having the options. Okay, so let me design the two div first with the class as question and one more div with options as a class. So first we will design this question. So for that I can just simply say take a card, bootstrap card, and I can add any question in this, like what is what is your name, some random name. Okay, what is your name, some random question, I'm so sorry, some random questions. And for options, what we will do is we will use the again the ordered list, or you can use unordered, anything which way works. Anyhow, we will try to remove that styling and stuff. Okay, so this will have a list of your answers, so maybe I can add some answer. This is all random, okay guys, so I'm not actually doing the exact stuff. So inside the list, so let me it was also a card inside the list, it was also a card, so let me just try to have that. So let's say div dot card, and inside it I will have the random options, maybe Shashi, and let me copy this list and paste it three more times. Shashi, John, Alex, and then we'll have Mary. I save it and let's check on the browser how it looks. Okay, so we need some styling, and so that we can handle very easily. So but yeah, so this is how it will look like. Okay, and all we need is the last thing, the two navigation buttons, left and right, and the center for the refresh. Okay, so I will add that now. Let me close this. Question is done, options is done, and the last div, maybe we will add it here. So div dot deflex, again I'll use the flex system, and this time justify content between. Okay, and below that we were having our three buttons. Okay, so this is my first button. Let me paste it three times, two more times, I'm so sorry, two times. And let's have our class. I'll use class btn only here because I don't want to use any colors. So yeah, just this color, and we will be using some icons. Okay, so we are going to use icons. So if you want to check how we can get the font or some icons, Just go here and search for font awesome 4.7. Open this first link and search for those icons. So let me just click on your icons, and here you can search the icons. So for me it is chevron. It's called a chevron, I guess. Yes, so we need these two, chevron right and chevron left. Okay, so if you click here, you can just copy this from here and just paste it. That's all. So I can just copy this thing and paste it inside our button. All right, so inside this button I can paste it, and that's all. We just need to give some styling or some more classes here so that it should look better. So I'll add some more class because I want to make it big. So I'll add it this far 3. Okay, and if you want to change the color also, then you can do it by just saying text primary, because I need a blue color. Okay, so this is done. Let me copy this. So this is for right, so let me paste it in the third one. Okay, so left one should be the first one should be left, so chevron left. This one should be right. Okay, so for the center one I need a like a refresh kind of button, like which. So first let me save it and check how it looks so that you guys are with me. If I open the browser, I can see these two buttons. So this is my left and this is my right. All right, so I just need a center button. So I'll again use the same class here, class btn, and let me go on FontAwesome website and just try to have that refresh button. So maybe we can use this one. Just copy this and paste inside this button, and I'll use the class, the same class which I have on the top. Okay, for this thing. So this is the refresh. So I'll say text primary. Okay, and the size should be 3x. So fa 3x. If I save it, if I go on the browser and check, so this looks better now. So I have these 3 buttons: the refresh, the navigation left and right. Okay, so now let me add some styling to it so that it should look like little better. So for that, let's go inside our styling. So first I'll go inside question component.css, this one, and I will add some styling for cards. Okay, so let me give the max width because I don't want that card to be that big. So I'll have my own width set here. So I'll go with 800 pixel. Okay, and I'll give some margin so that it should be center. So I'll say margin 0 auto, and I'll give some padding of 10 pixel. Okay, so for the list property I don't want that thing, so I don't want 1 2 3 4 for the options. So I'll just go say list style type as none. Okay, and cursor pointer, and I give margin also to it. So I'll say margin as 10 pixel vertically and 0 horizontally. Okay, I need some border, so whenever user are hovering on the options, so I need this border to be changed. Okay, this card border should be changed. So let me just try to do it. So I'll say list dot whatever I have in the card, if it is hovered, so I'll say hover. I want to change the border as 1 pixel solid. I'll use this blue color. Okay, and for OL I had to add some, I don't need any padding. I'll say padding as 0. Okay, and that's all. I guess that's pretty much it, where we have added all those stuff. Okay, if I save it and check on the browser how it looks, this looks better now because I have decreased the size and also make it things center. Okay, now this looks good, and whenever we are hovering we can see that black border. sorry, the blue border around this cards option card. Okay, now all I have to do is that we have to also design the result page. Okay, and that result page will do in the last, because once we are done with the logic part of this, maybe we can just look around how we can manage that stuff. Okay, so we'll work on that. So I will try to do things logical here. All right, so first thing I'll start with the welcome page. Okay, so whenever the user is logging in, I want to display the name here. All right, so for that, let's go to our welcome.ts file. Okay, so here I will make use of template reference. So I hope you guys heard about view child, so we are going to use that now. Okay, so in the input, so I'll make use of a template reference variable as name. Okay, and here in the, so this is what you have to do first in the input tag, the name. So this is our template reference variable, so whatever I will write here in the input, I can, so that I can access that value. Okay, we'll go in the component.ts and we will add that view child. Okay, so first, for using the view child, we have to import it first from angular/core, and that will template reference variable will help us to just take the template and make use of it native element so that we can grab the value from it. Okay, so I'll use this view child. Okay, so this is my view child, and the second thing I want to import is element ref. So these two I have to import it first to use it basically. So here I'll use add the rate view child, and inside this I have to give the name, the selector name. So I have that name as name. So if I just, so this name should match this, so remember, so whatever I have this as hash name, so this is my template reference variable, and this should match with this what I'm writing inside this view child. And I can give a name, a property, just like a property name. So this will be name key, and this will be of type element ref. All right, and now I have to use it. So whenever someone click on the start button, like start the quiz, I want to store that value, whatever I have in the name. So I'll make use of local storage to store which user has starting the quiz. So I'll have here, so start quiz method. So whenever who is clicking on that start quiz, let me just show you on the browser what I'm saying. So whenever someone is clicking on the start quiz, so he can store the name in the local storage and display it throughout our application. Okay, so here I'll just say that local storage dot set item. What I want to set, I want to set the name. Okay, and with the name is coming from this name key, so this name key dot native element dot value. Okay, so whatever value of that particular input will be, it will get stored inside our local storage. All right, and this is how we have did that. We have used view child to take that native element and store that value, and just use this start quiz method on this click event of this button. Okay, so let me have a click event here and paste this particular method which we have created. So click on save all and check on the browser your output. So let me open up my local storage first and let me clear whatever I have there, so that there should not be any confusion. So it is already having something, so let me delete everything from here. And yeah, so now I can just click here on this name, I can say, and I can click on start this quiz. So I can see we are storing a name here, Shashi, and we have to use this name to display it here. Okay, welcome user. All right, so for that, let's go here in our questions component. Okay, so whenever anyone is coming to this particular question component, I want to display that name. So I'll use a property called as name, a public property. So public name of type string. Okay, uh, it will be blank initially, an empty string, and now I have to initialize that name. So I'll say this dot name, and this name will be coming from my local storage dot get item. What was the item? What was the name we have set? We have set it as a name, I added this exclamation so that it should not be undefined, just so to tell that it will have some value in future in because of this local, so it will get some value. So I added this. If I don't add this, you can see it throws an error that string is null or it is not assignable to a type string. The type null is not. So it tells that if we add this thing, so it tells okay, this value will not be null, this will get some value. Just so this is all because of TypeScript. Okay, this is not any Angular bug or error. All right. So yeah, in this way we can store that name, and I can display this name over here by using string interpolation. Okay, so wherever the user is, I just remove that and I use the string interpolation. Just use the name property. If I save all, I can say compile successful. Let's go here and I can see the name is displayed here on the top. Let me try to change the name to some other, maybe John. So if I click on start quiz, I can see the name has changed to John. Okay, so in this way this thing is working now. So now we have to do some part in the question component.ts, because here is where the actual logic will be. So currently you can see my question is static, so I don't need all the static questions, so I must have some question list. Okay, so I'm using JSON for that, so I'll share that JSON in the description so that you can just copy that JSON and use it for your application. All right, so let me just create a JSON file for you guys. So I'll go here and in the asset folder, let me remove all this thing, this is not required now. So click here in the source, in the app, sorry, not in the app, here you can see we have this assets folder. So I'll go here and click on this new file button. So I'll say questions dot json. Okay, and let me just copy that source from one of my code, so that I'll share that with you guys, no worries. So I'll use this JSON file so that I can have all those questions, because I'm not using an actual backend here, so I'm just explaining you the Angular part, what has to be done from the Angular side. Okay, so I'm having this set of questions, 9 questions already. You can see this is an array of objects, so this is my questions array. Inside this we have 9 questions. Okay, and you can see the question text and the options for that, and out of this 4 option, one will be correct. Okay, so whoever it is correct, it has some extra property called as correct with a value as true. Okay, so this is what we will be using as our question set. Okay, so don't you can create your own questions set if you want, just follow this particular, like the templating, the way I have designed my JSON. Just copy the same design and you can change this question the way you want. All right, so this is what the question sets are. So let me just try to check how many question it is. It is 9, so we have total 9 questions here. Save it, and now we have to create a service to call this JSON. Okay, so to creating a service, I will create one folder first with the name as service. Okay, and inside this folder I have to create one Angular service. So creating a service is very easy. Just let me open up a new terminal, and yeah, and just say ng g for generate, s for service. I have to create a service inside this service folder. Okay, so I'll say service slash and the name of the service. So I'll give the name as question service. So I just given the name as question, and let's see does it is creating or not. So yeah, it is created, and we can check that inside this folder. So question service is created. All right, so now all we have to do is we have to call that service inside our sorry, I have to call that JSON. Okay, so for that I need to have an HTTP, so I'll say private HTTP client. Okay, I have to import it from angular slash common slash HTTP. So let me just import it very quickly. Import from angular @angular slash common slash HTTP. Second one. And what is the name we have to import? We have to import HTTP client. If we are importing HTTP client in the service, then in the module we have to import HTTP client module. Okay, because we are doing HTTP calls now, so we'll say HTTP client, so sorry, HTTP client module, the third one. You can see if I save it and let's go inside the TSF. Let me check things are compiling. It still compiling. Let's check. Yeah, it is compiling successful, so no errors. So let's go in the question service and try to create a method to call our the question.json. I'll say get json, get question json. All right, and this will return this dot http dot get. I'm getting that json now. So where is the json present? It is present inside the assets slash questions dot json. The name should match, right? The name which we have given to this. So it is assets slash questions dot json. Okay, and now I can get all those questions wherever it is required. So I required that questions inside my question component here. So I'll go inside this question component and I'll just call that. Okay, so first call I'll do is get all questions. Okay, to call this service I have to inject, correct? So for that I have this constructor, because constructor helped us to inject our services. So I'll say private, I'll say the question service, so give it some name, question service, and let me import the question service. I can see if I click on this and it will auto import on the top. You can see it is imported from service slash question service, and now I can call that method, this method which I have created. Okay, I have to call this inside my question component. So I'll just say this dot question service dot. I can see this method is accessible now. Get question JSON, and this is returns. This is an observable. So I'll say dot subscribe, and I can say the response. And let me just console.log the response if I'm getting the output or not, if I'm getting the JSON files or not. Okay, so whatever the question it was, let me save it. And I have to call this inside our ng on init. So I'll call this method inside our ng on init. Get all questions. All right. If I go here, let me console, inspect, and let's go in the console and check. So I can see I am getting the object. If I refresh the page again, I am getting this object. Okay, inside this questions, I am getting this array now. So I have to use this questions. So I'll say response dot questions. If I save it, and now if I check, now I will only get the array. See, I just say response dot questions, and now I'm getting this 9 arrays, which is my questions. Okay, my question text and my array of answers, which is my options. Okay, all right. So this was the main part which we have to do to get all these questions. And now main thing is will be revolving around using the ng for loop and stuff like that. Okay, so let me just focus on there. So I'll go inside the question component.ts file. Okay, so this part is done, so I'll close it. Okay, so let me open this if anything is required here. So this is points, questions, and the timer and stuff. So I'll not focus it here. So I'll go to the questions, and so this part is important because this will display like which questions I am attempting. Okay, so for that let me just put up here. So I'll just have to interpolate. All right, so what I want to interpolate, but because I'm not storing that anywhere else, so first of all let me create a property as public question list of type any and it will be an array. Okay, and I'll store that inside this. So I'll say this dot question list is equals to response dot my question. So whatever I was having in the JSON here, I will store all the questions inside this question list. Okay, and I will have one more property called as current question. Like, what is the current question is? Current question, it will be of type number and initially it will be 0. Okay, this is my current question. So with current question the user is attempting from the array, from the 9 questions. All right, now if I go here in the HTML, now I just have to use that question list. If I say question list of 0th element, like when I say 0 means my first question. Okay, I'll use this. And what was that? I want to display the question text, so I'll say question text. If I save it, let me save all because it will throw error. Yeah, no errors now. If I go here, I can see the question has changed. Which of the following does TypeScript use specific, like use to specify types? If I change here to 1, if I save it, now the question is changing. If I change it to maybe 7, see the question is changing. So this is the reason I have this thing, the current question. So it will hold the values which the user will change whenever he will navigate or he will click the next button. So currently it should be 0. So it starts from 0. So I'll say current question. Maybe better I'll just copy paste because I don't want to mess up with the spellings. Copy here and paste it here. Okay, so this will hold my current question values. You can see this is displaying my first questions. If you want to confirm that, you can check the JSON as well and check the first question. Just to specify, you can see this is the question, which of the following does TypeScript use to specify types? So both are same. All right, and now so let's just check what all properties I need. So I'll first create all the properties and then we will write the logic for all those. So we will have counter, we have times. Okay, so we have these points and then we have this counter. So let me create the property for these two. Let me go here in the question dot component, again a public property as points of type number to 0, and I will also have the counter which starts from, first it should start from 60 because we are having 60 seconds for each questions. So let me interpolate these two inside here for the points. I am using the simple string interpolation, and for the seconds I'll have the counter. If I save it, and let me save all and now check how it looks on the browser. Yeah, things are working fine. All right, now so let me just try to create some methods because I want to navigate, right? Whenever I click on this button, I want to go to the next question. Whenever I click here, I want to come to the previous question. Okay, so for that I will have to create two methods, next question and previous question. So let's go on the TypeScript file here, and below this I'll create two methods. First will be next question and second will be previous question. Okay, so whenever user is clicking on the next question, okay, so I have to increase the counter of this current question. So I want to increase this by 1. So the current question, which is currently 0, I want to increase this because I want to go to the next question. So from 0 it should become 1. So for that I'll just increment this to this dot current question. Okay, let me remove this. Yeah, current question, and I will increment. So plus plus. Okay, and same logic goes with this previous. So for this it will be decrement. So I'll say this dot current question minus minus. Okay, if I save it and let's check is it if things are working or not. If I click next, oh, it will not because I'm not using this method on the button click. So let me copy this method and let's go here. So this is my next question. So in this button I will have this click event, paste the method next question. Let's copy this previous question, go here, and for the first button I'll have this click and paste this previous question. If I save it, I go in the browser and check if things are working or not. I can see the questions are getting changed. Don't bother about these options, we will work on that. So but see here the questions are getting changed. Okay, all right. So now let's try to focus on the options, how we can display the options. So this is quite a tricky part, so I'll want you to just focus here how we can do it, because I'll use some more loops inside that. So that's the reason. So let's go here in the HTML part, and we have this div for options. Okay, I don't need all this because we will loop it now, so I don't need all this static answers, like static options, I'm so sorry. So I'll remove this also. All right, so for this I will use ng4. Okay, so I'll say options let option of question list, and inside the question list I will first check for which question number do you want. So whatever the user have as the current question, the property which I have created, this current question, I'll use it here. So I'll say current, better copy and paste current questions, and inside that I'm having the options. So I'll say dot options as an array. So let me first explain you this. So this is my current question array. Inside that I am getting that index of the question, which question, and inside the question I'm having this array of options. Let me show you what I'm saying. So here if you see, we are getting these options, this 4 options. So this is my array. So I want to loop with this option list. Okay, so this is what I am trying to loop now, because we have to display the what all options I am getting. All right, so if I go here in the component and in the list, here we will display the option.text. Option, from this option we are getting this option dot text. Okay, and so whenever people will click that, it will answer it. So first let me check if things are working there or not. So if I see, now we can see the options for this question. If I click on next, see the option also changed. Click on next, option is changing. If I go to previous, option is changing. See, this is the problem. I don't want to go back. If this is my first question, I don't want to go back. Okay, so for that I have to just first we can change this, because this is still static. So let us try to make this dynamic, and then we can work on this previous part. We have to disable this. Okay, so I'll go here, and yeah, so this is my question. So I'll replace this with my current question plus 1. Why plus 1? Because our array of index starts from 0. Okay, so I'll have this as plus 1, and this will be my length of the question. So I'll say question list dot length. If I save it and let's go on the browser and check, yeah, if I go to the next question, I can see question 2 of 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I go next, yeah, there is no question, so it is displaying nothing. But it should not display this previous button whenever it is on the question number 1. So we will try to disable that. Okay, and how we can disable it? It is very simple. All we have to do is we just have to test like on which button, on which question we are. Okay, so I'll disable it when I want to disable whenever my current, so I'm using the same property, by the way, this current question. If my current question is equals to 0, if it is equal to 0, then disable that button. Let's check if it works. See, now it is disabled. If I go to next question, this gets enabled. Again, if I press back, I'm coming on the first question, this is disabled. All right, now so this is also done. Now let's just focus on the logical part for the option selection, that whenever we select a right answer, it should give me 10 points. So this is also going to be a little bit difficult, so just be with me. All right, so for that I will be using a method called as answer. So let's create a method for it. Let's go in the question component. Below this, let's create a method called as answer, and that answer should receive the options which user have selected. Okay, so for that I'll go here in the question component, and whenever user is clicking, if user clicks on this method, on this particular option which is our list, it should return, it should call a method, name called as, we will create this answer method very soon. So I'll pass two things. Okay, for whenever the user clicks there, I have to pass two things, like which question he has, like he want to, so like he's answering for. So I'll say current question, this is the one, current question plus 1. Okay, why plus 1? You know, because array starts from 0, so I'm adding plus 1. And also I want to pass the option which user has selected. Okay, now this is throws error because we have to create it on component as well. So let's create on our component. So for that, let's navigate to our component.ts file. Yeah, here I have to create the same method answer, and I have the two parameter passed. So first one was question number of type number, and second thing was my option of type any, and this is a method, so I have opened this. Now you can see the error just gone. All right, now let's use this. So first thing we will use for the current option, if the option is correct, so I'll have a if condition, if my option dot correct. If the option is correct, because we are getting true value in the correct, if this is correct, then give user a 10 point. So I'm using this, I hope you understand what I'm doing. So this is equivalent, so let me just try to do the same thing here. This dot points is equals to this dot points plus 10. So line number 36 and line number 37 does the same thing. So this is just the short form for this. Okay, so I'm removing this, just this is just for your explanation. Okay, now below this, if the answer is correct, so it will go further. Let me add two more things. Let me have two more properties as correct answer. We will store this also, like how much answer was correct and how much answer was incorrect. So this is of type number, and current value will be 0, and we can say wrong answer, or you can say incorrect answer. Incorrect answer again of type number, and it starts from 0. Okay, so whenever user selects a right option, then it will also increment this correct answer with the plus plus. Okay, are you getting it? And what else he can do is he just have to test if the answer is correct, he will get 10 points. If it is not, so it comes under the else condition. Okay, it will come under the else condition. And all right, so if the option is correct, I want to send him to the next question also. So I'll just say this dot current question plus plus, so that it should go to the next question. If the answer is incorrect, then also he must go to the next question. But first of all, I have to decrease his point. So for decreasing it, it is again very simple. All we have to do is we just have to say minus 10 point. So I'll say this dot point minus 10. I'm just decreasing 10 points from the score. Okay, and this will go to the next question again, current question plus plus, and this dot incorrect answer plus plus. Okay, if I save all and check on the browser how things are working, yeah, if this I select this is correct, I'm getting 10 points. Which of this not used of types? Okay, so enum is not a type, so I'm getting 20 points. And if I use some wrong answer, so see the 10 points get deducted. So how we can say number array, so this is the correct answer, 20 points. Let me choose the wrong answer, minus 10, and again I choose correct answer, wrong answer. So I can say point is getting detected, which means it is working. So these things are working great. Now we have to work on the timer part. Now this timer part is very important, so we have to work here. So I will be using rxjs to work on this. Okay, so rxjs concept, we have the interval which we use for the rxjs. It comes from the rxjs part, which is a reactive programming, which I'll definitely gonna cover it very soon. So yeah, so let's try to use that now. So for that I will have a first property called as interval. I'm using this dollar sign because this is will be an observable of type any currently. And now I'll have to create three things. First, start counter, stop counter, and reset our counter. So let me first create the three methods. Start counter, then stop counter, and the last one is reset the counter. Okay, this is very simple. Let's see how it goes. So what we have to do is we just have to make use of interval. So first what I'll say this dot interval, which we have created the property, will be equals to the interval, and this interval is coming from where, see, rxjs. So if I click here, so this has to be imported on the top. See, this is imported from rxjs. Okay, so please, if your imports is not working, so try to do it manually. Okay, import it from rxjs, and this interval we can add, like for, see, it is asking for period, so I can say 1000 millisecond, which is 1 second. So it should run every 1 second. It should throw a value. Okay, it should return a value. So all I have to do is I just have to subscribe to this value. So I'll say dot subscribe, and yeah, in this way we can just make use of it. And now what we can do is we can just say whenever we are starting the counter, okay, so the counter should be minus minus, so it should decrease from 60 to 0. So this dot counter minus minus. Okay, and if my counter is equal to 0, so I have to do that condition also, like if the time is up, for example, let me explain it. If the time is up, if the time is 0, it should take it as a wrong answer, and it should go to the next option. So for that, let me write up the logic here, that if my counter is equal to 0, so what I'll do, I'll just say go to the next question. So I'll say current question plus plus, go to the next question, and I will reset the counter by saying this dot counter is equals to 60. Again, it will start from 60 and it will deduct the point by 10. So I'll say this dot point minus it by 10. All right. So in this way, we have started the counter. And also, if you just say that I don't want to subscribe to this interval for the whole time, so I have to unsubscribe also. So for unsubscribing it, we just call it, we just use a set timeout method that after 10 minutes, please stop the counter. Okay, so this is time, so unit 10, 100,000, 10,000. Okay, so we need to have this as, so after 10 minutes stop the interval. So this interval will run until unless we will unsubscribe it. So this is the beauty of RxJS. We have to stop this subscription, we have to unsubscribe that. So I'll say this dot interval dot unsubscribe. All right, so we will unsubscribe that, and in this way the counter will stop after 10 minutes. I don't want, because we have only 9 questions. Okay, so it is not necessary that it should run all the time, so we will unsubscribe that interval. Okay, so in this way our start counter is ready. All right, so if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section till here. All right, so we'll start with the stop counter now. So for stop counter, what we have to do is we just have to unsubscribe it, the interval. So I'll say interval dot unsubscribe. That's it. And I'll just say this thing to 0. So come this counter as 0. So you just stop now. Okay. And for resetting the counter, it is simple. How it is simple? First, I want to stop the counter. So I'll say this dot stop the counter. I'll say this dot counter. Oh god. First, I'll stop the counter and then I'll initialize this counter property to 60. Okay, and again I will start the counter. Stopping and starting, it is like restarting only. So we are resetting the counter by this. So first we are stopping it and then we are resetting it. Like we are starting it again. So stop and then start, which is equivalent to reset. Okay, so in this way we have written the logic for that also. And if you see here, we are also having this button reset the quiz. So whenever user press this, so it will reset everything and come to the first question again. So for that I was having all this start, stop and reset counter. So let me create a method for that, reset quiz. Okay, so what I need to do is I have to just call this dot stop counter first. Or better, we can say directly call this dot reset. So this dot reset counter, because it calls these two already. Okay, and then I'll say this dot get all questions. Again, I'll say the points again to 0. I'll say this dot counter value again start from 60. That's it. Let me save here and let me see if things works. So I have to call this reset quiz on my method, on my particular button. So down here I can see my third button for reset. I'll have a click event which will call this method. Okay, and now let me just try to see if things works. If I say start and if I click on reset, oh, it is throwing an error. Let's check what is the error. Okay, unsubscribe. So that's the error. So let me check the spelling was correct or not. So unsubscribing having that error, so let's fix that. Okay, All right, save it. Let's check what is the problem. So it says that this value is undefined. Oh yes, because we haven't started our counter. Okay, so for that first we need to start our counter, else the value will be undefined. So let's call this in our ng on init. So I'll say this dot start counter. If I go back, I can see our timer is working now. Okay, and I can go and can answer the questions also. I'm getting points. If I click on this, now things are getting reset. Okay, I can see this is not getting changed. Okay, so this is because whenever we click on reset, I have to come to the first question. So I'll say this dot current question is equals to 0. And now let's check if it works. So I am on third question. If I refresh it, now I am again on the first question and timer also restarts. All right, so yeah, so this was a very quickly we have actually completed this thing. Now all is remaining is this line. How we can add, we can use this progress bar whenever we are progressing the question, like whenever we are achieving to our success. So this is also should increase. So currently this is static. All right, so let me just add few things here and there so that we can make use of these things. So for that all we have to do is we have to change the styling. So for that I'll use ng style inside our HTML. So just grab this thing, progress bar, and if you can see this style, so I'll remove this style and I use ng style. All right, and this ng style will be like this is very simple actually. We are just passing this value from our property. So this will have a width. So let me just add a width here in the single quote. I'll say width. All right, and width I want to pass it from a property which I will create now. So let me create a property first. Let me have a property somewhere here as progress, and this is of type string and starts from 0. Okay, and I'll use this property inside this. Okay, so this will be holding that particular value. So this, so let me just do it again. This has to be in single quotes by saying width, and then we will use the progress, progress. This progress is coming from our ts file, okay, from here. And I will concatenate this with the percentage because I want to provide the width. So I'll say concatenate it with my percentage, my single quote as percentage. All right, if I save it, if I save on the ts as well, save all, and let's go here. And now you can see, so currently it is 0. If I give any answer, I can see 10 points. Okay, so this is not working actually. So for, I'm not sure what is the problem. Let me just inspect element and check. If at all I'm getting any errors, I'll check that. Oh yes, I remember. Sorry, I haven't written the logic for progress because currently whatever I write here, it is not taking that value. So it is still the 0. So we have to look around, like we have to write some logic so that it should hold some value. Okay, so whenever I'm answering it, I want to like get the progress value. So let me create a method for it in our ts file. So let's go in the ts file and let's create a method called as get progress percent. Okay, and now this will say that this dot progress, and this will be is equals to, this is very simple, just use this, and we have to use, we are getting the current question, so this is just a division. So this dot current question, if I divide it by the how many question I have, so this is like question list dot length. All right, and multiply it by 100 to give me in term of what these are my percentage value, and I have to just send this in term of string because this holds a string value. See, it is returning the type number is not assignable to a type string. So let me make this as string by saying dot to string. Alright, and I will return this. Return this dot progress. Oh, sorry, not a method. This dot progress. Okay, let me save it. And now, so wherever I am using this, so I'll just have to, whenever I'm giving some answer, okay, so if my answer is correct, so I have to return that, like this is my progress, so please show that. Okay, so all I have to do is I just have to go inside this start count, no, not start counter, inside this whenever the option is correct. So what I'll say, I'll just say this dot get the progress percentage. If my answer is incorrect, again get me those percentage. If I save it and check on the browser now, if I press on the options, oh yes, I can see the points. This is also getting increased. So let me come up all the way to the last question. Okay, so there is some issue, I guess I have to check that. And whenever I'm resetting the quiz, I want to say this dot progress is again equals to 0 because I'm resetting the quiz. So I'll reset that as well. Save it and let's go here. Let's check what is wrong. Whenever I select first question, it is not progressing, which is incorrect. So let's check what is going wrong here. Oh yes, I got the problem. What is the problem here? This is because of this, because we are calling this after this progress. This progress has to be called in the last. And let me make this thing on the top after the points which is added. If I save it, now if I go on the browser and check, if I select the first question correct, so now we can see the progress is correct. Now before starting the next part, I want you guys to just arrange this in such a way that I have did it here. Okay, so this is really important because I know because of that that the get progress was not working. So I really want you guys to just set it in this way, the way I did here. This if and else condition here you can see. So just have just like this. So in the if condition, this should be the pattern, like starting from the point and ending up to this, and the else condition same like this. All right, so yeah, so now what we will work on is we will work on this, what was this part, yeah, so we'll work on this changing the background. So if we click on this question, then it should, the background should change to green color if it is correct, and if it is incorrect then the color should be the red color. So how we will try to make this, so we will make use of directives. So directives in Angular helps us to manipulate with the DOM element. So we will try to manipulate with this DOM and try to change the behavior, like sorry, not behavior, the style of this particular card, the option card. Okay, so let me just tell you how we can create a directive in Angular. It is very simple. So we are, now we are supposed to create a custom directive. So for that, just open this VS Code, like this new terminal, and just write the command ngg d for directive and the directive name. So I'll give the name as change bg. Okay, change bg means change background color. I'll hit enter. So now it will create a directive for us inside this app folder. Here you can see down below we are having this change directive. So I will not use this spec file. I'll delete it because we are not doing testing. Spec file is basically for testings. So I'll delete this. Okay. Now this directive will be, this is actually very simple because it takes one input and according to the condition, if condition is true then it will be green color, if the condition is false then it will be red color. So first of all, let me have a input property called as @input, and the property name should be is correct. This is type boolean, and initial value will be false. Okay, and now we are playing with the element reference. So let me inject the element reference first. So I'll say el or ef, element reference, element ref, this down one, element ref. And the second thing, we will read a renderer. Renderer is basically helps will be using that renderer here to style. Okay, so for styling we will be using it because it will help us to style our native element. So whatever the element, we will grab it, so it will help us to style that. So I'll say private renderer, and I'll just have this. So we use renderer 2. So always try to import also. Right? See, I'm just pressing tab button, so it auto imports. Here you can see everything is imported on the top. Whatever I'm using, element ref, renderer 2, then this @input, and this directive already we are getting it. All right. Now I will be using host listener. Okay. Why we am using host listener? That it will check for the click event. Okay. Whenever the click event happens, so it will check that and it will call our method here. So let me just call the host listener. See, this is the third one. Press on tab and it is auto imported on the top. See, this is imported, and this host listener asks for an parameter called as event name. Which event I want to check? I want to check click event. Whenever this click event is called, I will trigger this method called as answer. And this answer, inside this method, I will have this option if condition. If is correct. If is correct is true, then display green. If it is false, then display this. So I will have the green logic here and red logic in the else block. All right. So just say this dot renderer dot set style. So it will help us to set my style. If I open this, it will ask for the element reference. We'll say el. So I'll say, so I have this ef. So let me change it to el to be more precise. So I'll say this dot. So I'll say el dot native element. Okay. And now what I have to change the native element? I have to change the style. So I'll say style. Which style I want to change? I want to change the background. So I'll say background and the value. What value I want to apply? I want to apply a green value. So I'll say green. All right. So let me copy this and paste it 5 times. Let me show you where I want to paste. So 2 times in the if block and 3 times in the else block. Okay, so because I want to apply 3 styles, first of all, if you see here, I want to change the background to green color and the border to gray color. And also if you talk about this text, I want to make this text as white color. All right, so first background is there. Second thing I want to change is the color of the text. I want to change it to white. So I'll say star f and I'll say border, change the border to 2 pixel solid and gray color. All right, let me copy these two because maybe I can copy all and I can just paste it here because everything is same. Only one thing will change. This green will be changed to red now and everything will be the same. Let me save it. So our directive is ready. Okay, but I want to use it somewhere. I want to change the background color of the options. So this is my options. I want to change the bg color in term of condition. What condition it is. So if you see, I want to change the bg of this, so I'll have to use this directive now. So just copy the selector, change directive, and go inside our options. So if I scroll up here, you can see in the options we have this div in the list. So I'll use it here, and also this is expecting an input called as is correct, and that value will pass it from options. Okay, option dot correct, because this option has this property inside it. If I just show you in the question.json, so this has this property correct and this value is true. So if it is true, then it will display green color and things will work as I've already explained. Okay, let me save it and let's check on the browser how it looks. Let me check if things, yeah, compile successful. Let's go here. If I click, oops, I'm not able to see the change because Angular is very fast here. Okay, it is going to the next question. So let me add some delay to see the change in the background color. Okay, so let me add some delay, because there is no delay, and this is the reason that I'm not able to see any changes, red or green color. So I'll add some delay very quickly here. So I'll just use set timeout to add some delay. All right, so adding delay is very simple. All you have to do is use the set timeout correctly. So maybe below here I'll use the set timeout. All right, so it is why it is lagging, I'm not sure. Yeah, so go inside this, because I want to do it below, because whenever the set timer, it should run only for the desired things. I want this current answer to be initialized anyhow, so I'll not take that inside this. I'll say a delay of 1000 millisecond, which is equivalent to 1 second. Okay, and I copy this part, below part, and paste it inside this. Shift Alt F. And for the else block, I'll do the exact same, but this time the points will be down below and everything will be in the set timeout part. I'll say set timeout, no, not this one, for 1000 delay, and I'll paste the things here inside this. Let me save it. And let me check on the browser the behavior now. If I select this correct option, I can see I'm getting this green color for 1 second. If I select the wrong answer, I can see the wrong background color, and also we are getting a border, and color is also getting change of the text into white color. All right, so this was all about changing the behavior of this particular DOM. All right, now only one thing is pending, which I have already promised that I'll do it in the last. Like whenever I am coming to my last question, and I can see when, so this is my last question. So whenever I click this option, so I get nothing here, and this is getting incremented again, which is incorrect. So I want to display a result page. Okay, so let me first design the result page, and then maybe I can just write some logical part here and there. Okay, so for that page I will use again a deflex. So let's go here, and inside this question.html, so this part is for belong to this part belong to options, this is for questions, this is for progress bar, this is for, I'm not sure for what, yeah, the top part. So what I'll do is I'll containerize all this thing into a ng container. So starting from this div to this div, I'll just say control X, and I'll have a ng container. I'll paste inside that, and let me close this ng container. I will add one more ng container for the result part. Okay, and inside this let me add the code or static code for that. So I'll say div.row dot deflex, and this time justify, I hope it is correct, content between. All right, and inside this I'll have two things. First, on the left side I'll want to have an image. Again, for the source part I will be having some reference of mine, so I'll just copy that and paste it inside this. So again, I'll share it in the description below. If you want to use mine, then you can use it, or you can use your own. Okay, I have pasted it here, and I'll give this thing some styling. I'll style it and give the width of maybe 50%, and let me add some class as well, so that it should look better in small screen as well. So I'll say class, and let me give first image fluid and and then cool sm12, and for the small screen, and mx auto, so that it should be in center. So image is done, and now let's do for the right hand side the div, which consists of all the static elements like score, total wrong answer, correct answer, and all that. Okay, so let me just have that div. So div dot result. Okay, and this will be center, so I'll say text center. And second thing, I need this cool md6, so that it should divide it into two parts. And no, it's md not mg, so cool md6. And for the smaller screen, it should take all the 12 screen size. So I'll say col sm12. Okay, and inside this I will have all those static elements. You guys can skip if you don't want to see all this. I'll just fast forward it for you guys. So in this way, this is all the static element. You can just pause my video and you can just write it down the way I have written it. Okay. All right. So now I will use the interpolation because I know the total questions, how many questions are there. So I'll make use of the question list dot length so that I can just have that. So I'll say question list dot length, like how many questions are it's there. So it is total question attempted, and second thing is total correct answer and total wrong answer, and we have our score. Okay, so for score I have already a property called as points. Okay, so this is how we will interpolate it, points. And we have correct answer and we have incorrect answer. So for wrong answer I'll say incorrect answer, and for correct answer I have same property. And this property name, this name is coming from, I have already created this property in here. If you see, correct answer and incorrect answer. Okay, let me save it and let me check on the browser how it looks. Now you can see below this I can say this this icon, congratulations icon, and this total question attempted, your score and everything. If I just change it from here, if I give any question, so I get 10 points. You can see this is getting updated and total correct answer is also 1 now. But I don't want to display it every time. I want to display it when I am finished with my quiz. Okay, so for that I will create one property. The property name will be is quiz completed. This is of type boolean, and now it will hold initial value as false. Okay, so is quiz completed. So I'll use this inside our ng container. So I'll use a if condition for this to display when I want to display this. So I'll say star ng if my quiz is completed, if it is true, then display this result. Okay, and at that time I don't want to see these things, these options, these points and everything. So this is already inside a ng container. Now I have containerized everything. So I'll say this container as star ng if. This will be opposite of that. Okay, opposite of this. So I'll just add a exclamation. So if quiz is not completed, which means it is not completed, then I will display this. Let me save all and let's check. Now you can see this that get hidden. So so let's try to finish this quiz with all the correct answer. Let's see if we can do. So this is correct. This is Xenum. This is my okay. So give some wrong answer as well so that we can test everything. So I'm giving some random wrong answers. So you can see this quiz is completed, but still I'm not able to see. And the reason for that is because I haven't applied that, because it is false every time. I haven't initialized it. Okay, so for that, let me tell you where I can. So this is the time I will use this current question number. You're getting me? So now this will helps us to get the value if the quiz is completed or not. So I'll say if my question number, if my current question number is equal to my last question. So if how I can get the last question, by question list dot, if we are on the last question, then what it should do, it should complete my quiz. So it says quiz this dot is quiz completed equals to true, and I will stop the counter. I don't want to start the counter now, so I'll say stop counter. All right, because stop counter will unsubscribe the interval. Okay, so this is the reason I have this. So if I save it now and let me try to do the same thing, let me try to give the quiz again. Wrong answers. Correct. Wrong. Wrong. This time I'll give between the files and okay. Correct answer. Filter is correct here, and this is also correct. So I can see my quiz is completed. Now I can see total question attempted is 9. Correct question was 6. Wrong answer is 3, and my score is 30. Okay, so this was all about how we can create a quiz application in Angular from scratch. So this was all step by step. So I will highly recommend you guys to follow my steps and complete this application. All right, and I really want you guys to just comment down in the comment section that you have completed this application. And if you are facing any issue or any error while creating this application, you can let me know. That I already have my Telegram channel, so I'll put that in the description list. You can connect with me and we can discuss what error you are facing so that I can solve it in a very better way. All right guys, so if you really want to support me, then please give it a thumbs up button, and you can share your feedback in the comment section if you really want. So that's it from this video, and till that next time, okay, so for the next time I'm planning for creating a chat application in Angular plus .NET Core SignalR. So please stay tuned for that also. That video will be dropping maybe in next week, mid of the next week. So please stay tuned with me. Alright guys, so goodbye and keep learning.